joined very shortly by none other than Waqas Ali Qadri, formerly of Outlandish, who has now embarked on a solo career with the release of an amazing new album. If you haven't listened to it, please do get a hold of a copy. This is called One Foot in the Sink, the Other on a Banana Peel. An intriguing title, and we'll get the meaning of that later when we chat with him. He's going to be joining us in a few minutes' time to discuss the new album, the inspirations and motivations behind it, and we'll be touching on the disbanding of Outlandish after 20 years. But first, it's very important that I set you off listening to this great title track from the album. This is Waqas with One Foot in the Sink.
Yeah, in preschool I was kind of a dork. The other kids were like, why is it you can't eat pork? I wasn't good at sports, so I never got picked. And what's up with the kebab on the rye bread? Ew, that's sick. We didn't celebrate Christmas at home, so I danced around the prayer rug in my room alone. When Ummi said, beta, go pray your salah, I used to sit on the rug with a comic book on the side. I mean, life was pretty okay, a little confusing at worst. More like a blessing, nothing at all like a curse. I was a little chubby kid, so innocent, just trying to find a balance with one foot in the sink.
With one foot in the sink. With one foot in the sink. With one foot in the sink. Yeah, we're striking the pose, and we're trying to find a balance in the world so cold. Behold.
Things got a bit more weird in high school. The kids were like, why don't you drink like the rest of us do? Here's some weed. Puff, pass. I'm okay with admitting I did things in my past that I'm not so proud of, but they were all part of my growth. Like Jay-Z said, that's one to grow with. Nope, not trying to be heroic. It's okay to be out of sync when you're trying to find a balance with one foot in the sink.
With one foot in the sink. With one foot in the sink. With one foot. Yeah, we're striking the pose, and we're trying to find a balance in the world so cold. Behold, behold, behold.
Life is a blessing, life is a challenge. Life is striking a balance between dunya and deen, between the seen and the yet to be seen. Life is getting up on the scene with a dunya-proof vest, and you will take shots daily, trust me, and make Shaitan so mad that he will come for you with everything that he got. So till the day we die, we ponder and think, just trying to find a balance with one foot in the sink.
Mashallah, mashallah. What a track.
It is a brilliant track.
It is a great track. We were just saying while that was playing that we both love that track. Yeah. Among others on the album, right?
I mean, I've listened to all of them and I think they're all really, really good songs. I really enjoyed them. Yeah.
They're absolutely great. My daughter's in love with the album, by the way.
Yeah, and you know, my eldest daughter is also, she's always humming that song in the background.
Oh, it's got such a great hook.
Yeah, it has.
It really has. Listen, now, listeners, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Waqas to the airwaves. He's a rapper, as if you need to be told. He's a rapper, singer, songwriter, and producer. No newcomer to the music industry, hailing from the award-winning, I'll put my teeth in, internationally acclaimed hip-hop band Outlandish. Following 6 inspirational albums with the band, after amassing an entourage of musical enthusiasts worldwide over a career spanning 20 years. Waqas released his second solo album, One Foot in the Sink, the other on a Banana Peel, just recently on the 25th of May. Now, it's been described by critics as music for the soul, provoking positive self-reflection. The new album is a refreshing and very real exploration of finding a balance between living amidst two cultures and identities as a spiritual individual growing up in the West. Now, the unique title of the album encompasses the paradox and journey of Waqas's own life. Born and raised in Copenhagen, Denmark, to Pakistani parents, constantly torn between expectations of two societies. So if that doesn't want to make you go out and listen to the album, nothing will. Trust me. Now, without further ado, Assalamu alaikum, Brother Waqas.
Alaikum assalam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, good, thanks. Thanks for joining us here on Salaam Radio today.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on sort of a short notice. It's an honor to be on board.
Oh, that's great having you. Now, my co-host today, guest co-host, is Brother Tokia Setio. I think you kind of know, right?
Salaam alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam, folk guitar. How are you?
How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah, we know each other. It's a small world.
That's great. Well, listen, we've got the best part of an hour, albeit a 4-minute ad break in between, and we want to play another one of your tracks later on in the show. But cool. I think in the interest of time and for the benefit of our listeners and ours as hosts, we thought we'd just go straight into it and talk about. Let's touch upon this, because this is the question that you're probably expecting straight away, which is the outlandish question. You know, that decision after 20 years. In some respects, it is an outlandish question as well. But after 20 years, you called it a day. Can you tell us the reasons behind that and how it left you feeling after such a long time with the band?
Well, you said it already there, right? You said 20 years. And, last year we looked each other in the eyes and we were like, guys, next year is going to be 20 years. So what's up? Are we going to do more music, or what are we going to do? And I think we all just agreed that, as Outlandish, we can't take it further. We've been doing it for 20 years. I think we were 18 when we started. Today we're like, all of us are plus 40. We've somehow felt that we paid our dues. And to be honest, instead of ending up as a bad excuse for what you once were, you might as well call it a quit. And that's what we decided. Not that it was an easy decision, but it was a necessary decision for all three of us to be able to move forward. We feel we're still young and we still have a lot of creativity left. But as Outlandish, I think it was just time to, move on, because we were going to the studio, we were doing songs, but they were just not coming out the way we wanted to, as we used to do. And we've been trying it for a lot. Actually, some years ago, we did a full album almost, and we squashed it because we didn't feel it. It didn't feel right. So, it was a necessary decision, not an easy one. And in regards to how it left me personally feel, back in January, I was really, really in a dark place. I don't know if it was like a midlife crisis or whatever, but it's like when you look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, you take away Outlandish, you take away this from me, which has been part of my DNA for 20 years, then who am I? What am I left with? And it's basic human nature, right? You start doubting yourself and you become, it's almost like you're digging a grave or something, of creativity. It's just like, you're getting down there and you're just getting more and more dark. And at a certain point, I was just like, I'm going to quit music. I'm going to get a 9-to-5. And just the thought of getting a 9-to-5 put me even in more of a depression.
I think it does that to the best of us, doesn't it?
It does.
Not that there's anything wrong with a 9-to-5, but it's just like, this has been my life. And people who've been independent and have their own, independent jobs or whatever, they know this, that we work in a certain way. And it was tough, man. It was really tough. And alhamdulillah, I have a really good friend. He's been on your show too, Saif Adam.
Yeah.
I had a really nice conversation with him, and he was like, he really, really motivated and helped me to find a direction and find and renew the creativity that's in me. So it's been a really good journey. And actually, in March, I had a conversation with him in February, and in March, I knocked out the whole album. I haven't done that ever before.
Wow.
And I did it right here. I don't know if people can see that I'm sitting, it's in my house. I have a little studio in my house. I just wrote, recorded, produced, and everything, the whole album here in 1 month, you know. And I was like, after that, I was like, wow, what happened here, you know? So
that is amazing.
So I think the moral of the story is that if people feel despair, if they feel doubt in their hearts or whatever, you know, don't push it away. Take it in, absorb it, and try to understand why it's there, because you will get past it and you will, you know, rejuvenate and move on, inshallah.
Inshallah. Wow. So you just said amazing that you've produced, you know, wrote, recorded everything in your home studio. Yeah. So this is on your own label. This is an independent label, right?
Yeah, it is. And you know, I had some doubts because people were like, "Okay, man, Vikas, you're from a major label. You know, you did Aisha, Guantanamo, all these massive, huge hits. You know, and you should be driving around a Bentley and limousine, and you should have like 20 people behind you. You know, the whole team." But I really felt the necessity to just pull back from mainstream and, you know, the record label industry and everything. Yeah. And just do everything myself. Because I am capable of it. You know, I've been very creative the last 20 years. Alhamdulillah, I got a lot of experience, whether it's video production, producing, and everything, social media. So you know, I had all the tools to do it, and I did it. And I just put my head down and just worked towards it. You know, and alhamdulillah, it succeeded. For me, when the album was done, I hadn't released it yet. I had like achieved my goal, because I was like, this is something, wow, you know, I can be proud of and happy for. But you know, it's again, it's the thing is that you don't have to. In music industry, we have this whole thing about it needs to be glamorous and you need to have like 5 managers and everything. You know, it's nothing like that. You know, if you want to do it yourself, you can do it. If you want to start a radio station yourself, you can do it. You just need to take it one step at a time and just go ahead with it.
Yeah.
Wow. MashaAllah. It sounds like, you know, you're speaking from a lot of experience there. I mean,
I'm old, man. I'm 41 years old.
That's it.
That's
no age.
There's been a lot of experience throughout the career. So,
alhamdulillah. Well, I mean, taking you back to what you just mentioned about recording the whole album in your studio, I find that particularly intriguing, because this is something I'm currently doing at home. I've built my studio and I'm just hopefully, inshallah, soon we'll be kitting it out. But I'm sure there's a lot of other listeners out there who are thinking that, oh, I want to build my own studio. And, you know, what does this entail, and how do you record, how do you produce, and then how do you publish your album? And is this expensive? Is this something that requires a lot of investment?
It is the biggest investment is your time and your talent. You know, to put in the work and have the creativity, of course, but also have the focus, because you can easily lose focus, you know, and I can't do it. And I do this all the time. I am notorious in doubting myself and my own abilities. I've been doing that for the last 20 years. Wow. Even before I was in Outlandish, you know, I was a very insecure young kid, like I say in the song, One Foot in the Sink. Yeah. You know, the little chubby kid with the big round glasses. I don't know, just hang on a sec.
Have you got a photo?
If people can see it, you know, this is a picture of me.
Oh, wow. MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
This was me. You know, this was me before the Outland days. You can see it's like a hipster.
You look like me. You look like me now, but with hair.
You know, so I was very insecure about myself and my abilities, and but you know, somehow I tend to put myself in a situation where I have to challenge myself and my own ability. You know, so this whole thing with the home studio, you know, it is some investment. You know, you get a mic, you get a sound card, you get a keyboard, you get a computer and good, decent speakers. And, you know, you just work. That's how we started in Outlandish also. You know, we didn't have a lot of equipment. People didn't believe in us because we were like 3 brown kids, two Muslims and 1 Catholic. You know, one was rapping in Spanish and me and Isam in English. You know, so no one believed in us, but we were very stubborn. You know, we didn't take no. The more people said no, the more stubborn we got, that we had to succeed. So you have to. I mean, it's good to say that you want to do things yourself, but there's some criteria that you have to fulfill. You know, it's stubbornness. It's just keep on working until you achieve what you achieve. Because nowadays it's very easy to, you know, do a song, put it on YouTube. And if it's bad, you know, it's out there. Yeah. So people are gonna put comments on it, and they're gonna put you down and give you a thumbs down or whatever, you know. And luckily I'm from a generation where we had to rehearse a lot before we were even granted access to a studio. You know, you have to reach a certain level. So I think that it's cool that a lot of kids today can just do whatever they want to do, put it out there, you know, but it has some consequences that the quality isn't always up there, unfortunately.
So I guess what you're saying is if you're going to do something like this, you need discipline, you need commitment, and you need to believe in yourself and your own art.
Yes, especially when people are doing the opposite.
Absolutely.
You know, not believing in you. You have to.
Yeah. And I think that's quite a difficult thing. I mean, I'm just a kind of like independent at home kind of guitar guy, and it's hard. I always find it difficult to put myself out there, and I think, what are people going to think? What are people going to think? Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's interesting that you say this after 20 years of experience.
Yeah.
You know, so I suppose we're all at a position where we're going to be learning something.
Exactly. You know, for me also, I mean, I have all this experience, but it is like somehow you're starting from scratch again. You know, even though I've been in the industry for 20 years and I've been like all the mainstream big labels and everything, you know, and they're still calling, you know, hey, come on, release it here, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, for me, this feels right. I can really feel and touch everything that's going on. I'm posting a picture, you know, and I can see directly how it affects everything and what to do, what not to do.
In control.
Exactly.
So my next question is, I think we've touched upon this, is the album title is, I mean, we love the album title. It's really original.
It's great.
And I love the photo on the CD cover as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what does this mean? What does it mean to you, and what's the story behind it?
Okay, the whole thing is that, you know, when I write songs and you know, I picture a lot of, you know, I visualize it. So for me, it's I always do that when I write lyrics. I picture a music video. You know, I saw that picture of me with a foot in the sink even before I had the, you know, the whole concept ready. But because to break it down in a nutshell is that, you know, when you're born and raised in the West and you're a Muslim, I mean, to put your foot in a sink is not unnatural for us. But if you're ever been in a public toilet or, you know, in the school or whatever, and you're doing your thing with the wudu, and suddenly someone who's not Muslim walks in on you and they're like, yo, why do you have your foot in the sink? You know, that's strange. And in Denmark, actually the term sink it's called a hand sink.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's for your hands.
So why are you sticking your foot in it?
It's like, why do you have your foot in a hand sink? What's going on? You know, this is not right. This is strange. This is odd. You know, and you're like, caught in that moment, right? So for me, that represents culture. It represents deen. It represents spirituality. It represents being unique and different and being outlandish, actually. And the other foot, which is on a banana peel, is, you know, the world, the dunya, which is slippery. You know, there's this whole term, 1 foot in the sink. No, 1 foot in the grave, I think, or something. I don't know.
Yeah. 1 foot in the grave. Yeah,
exactly. So for me, it's like this whole balance that we're trying to find throughout our life, and it keeps on going till the day we die. You know, that you're trying to find a balance between good and evil, a balance between culture and religion, and, you know, dunya and deen and everything. So I found it quite beautiful. And that's for me, that's the beauty in the deen, is the struggle daily, you know, that, you know, you constantly keep on trying to, you fail, you fall, you rise and everything. So that was basically the idea behind the title.
Wow.
That's great. Now, we're going to, you mentioned Safe Adam already, and you kind of preempted one of the questions. We're going to hear It Is Written from the album just after the break. Cool. Another great track with you, obviously, and Safe Adam performing in the track. But you mentioned that you had a conversation with Safe Adam, and then you put this album out in effectively a month. What was it he said to you that inspired you so?
He was like, bro, you can make millions of pounds. No, but basically, it was like me and him were pretty similar in the way we think and creativity, and still to this day, I mean, even today I'm writing to him and we have like long conversations and stuff. It's just basically, you know, he's been there also, you know, felt despair and what to do. Yeah. And he's been in the mainstream as well, writing songs with Ed Sheeran and stuff, you know. So he was basically, yo, bro, look, when you cut it down, you can go out and get a 9 to 5, you can do this, you can do that, you can change lanes, but what makes you happy? Like, it's being creative, doing music, you know, with a purpose. It's like, just admit to yourself that you're an artist, you're a musician, and take it from there and just go from there. Once you just admit to yourself, this is what you do, then, you know, you'll be good. you'll be fine. That's like his catchphrase. You'll be good. You'll be fine. Inshallah, you'll be fine. So I don't know what it was, but it was just the whole conversation. I don't know. It wasn't like a specific thing he said. It was just like, yeah, man, you're right. And sometimes you need a good kick in the backside to make you like, get up off your seat and just go, because life will knock you down several times. It will knock you down constantly, and it's all about just getting up. No matter how many punches you get up.
Absolutely.
So I'm truly, how do you say, thankful, and he's like a brother for life now.
Mashallah, it's great. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play the track to take us up to the break. This is Waqas with Saif Adam, called "It Is Written." Enjoy this, listeners.
It is written, so don't you let it bring you down. Trying to fit in, just be yourself.
I am here to make amends, and I stay the defense. It makes sense now to tell you where I've been. I went into a state of depression only to come back again. I had to hit rock bottom, my Great Depression. Flat on my back where I learned my greatest lessons. This looks like a pretty good place to be asking of a miracle from you. Looking at the sky blue, I felt a spiritual high with you, and then I testify by you. Wishing I could press pause, rewind, stop, and record. New days, no flaws.
It is written, so don't you let it bring you down. Trying to fit in, just be yourself. Allah is watching over ya, He will always be there for ya. It is written, so don't you let it bring you down.
And when you're feeling down and no blessing coming around,
you're feeling down,
and you're not healing, so you feel like leaving town, but it's all around you. God works in mysterious ways, I learned the hard way. Yeah, sometimes you gotta take a seat in, sometimes you gotta take a beat in. Allow Him to unfold what He's got in store for you. You don't get it now, but it's good for you. Like a black seed overdue for you. Remedy for the body and the soul to go stronger and go higher.
It is written, so don't you let it bring you down. Trying to fit in, just be yourself. Allah is watching over ya, He will always be there for ya. It is written, so don't you let it bring you down.
Don't let it bring you down to your knees. And if it does, bounce back up on your feet.
No,
I told you it is written.
no, never.
But that don't mean we give in. To get it right, you gotta get it wrong sometimes. Yeah,
It is written, so
y'all.
don't you let it bring you
Never let
down.
it bring you
Trying
down.
to fit in, just
Hey,
be
you
yourself.
gotta be who you are.
Allah is watching over
We know He's
ya,
watching.
He will always be there for
Say
ya.
better.
It is written,
Okay.
so don't you let it bring you
Let's
down.
Yeah, let it bring you down.
Bring you down, down, down.
Say la
Watch it over. Hey,
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
I've just come out of Penny Appeal's Orphankind Orphans Accommodation. Brothers and sisters, they've got a kitchen where they're getting fresh food cooked and served to them. They've got foster mothers looking after them. These are how orphans should be looked after. Sponsor an orphan for pennies a day. Call 03000 11 11 11 or visit the website pennyappeal.org. Remember, small change, big difference.
Do you have lots of clutter at home or in the office that needs to be kept but nowhere to keep it? Ivet Self-Storage offers a secure, affordable, clean and dry home for your belongings. We have security systems in place which are monitored 24 hours a day, ensuring that your items are safe. With a simple monthly payment, Ivet Self-Storage provides secure and tailored facilities to meet your specific requirements, whether short or long term. We offer the best prices and longest opening hours in Peterborough. For more information, please call on 01733 306 456 or visit us at Ivet Way, Westwood.
Maha Zain is coming to Leicester with a debut tour of his latest album, One. See him perform at the Athena on Saturday the 21st of October. This inspirational tour is brought to you by Penny Appeal and Awakening Records in aid of girls' education. Buy your tickets now. Visit pennyappeal.org or call 03000 11 11 11.
Iqra Academy is the only Muslim girls' school in Cambridgeshire where your daughter will develop her knowledge of Islam and the national curriculum in a safe environment. Ofsted has judged the teaching and learning, leadership and management, pupil behaviour and personal development as good in June 2017. Iqra Academy's qualified staff teach in small classes, and the school is producing sports teams who have a track record of succeeding at national level. With reduced fees and a good rating 3 times from Ofsted, why not consider Iqra Academy for your daughter? Enroll now to avoid disappointment. Please contact 01733 331 433 or email admin@iqraacademy.org.uk.
Eagle Foods are proud to bring you the following quality products available now in retail outlets across the UK. Treat your family with Super Chick Nuggets, chunks, fillets, goujons, sizzlers and popcorn. Quality whole muscle products made with handcrafted 100% chicken breast in handy resealable 1 kilogram bags. Quench your thirst with our Dr. Malt range of beverages, a range of great flavours. Strawberry, raspberry, pineapple, peach, watermelon, pomegranate and original. Available soon. Fruity Me, 6 refreshing flavours. Apple, mojito, watermelon, fruit cocktail and orange. Mr. Basil, our range of basil seed drinks with 30% juice and in 30 flavours. Mr. Basil range of Faluda milkshakes, 8 great flavours. Eagle Foods, Newark Road, Peterborough. Call us on 01733 755 557. Eagle Foods, the caterer's choice.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. On the authority of the son of Umar, may Allah be pleased with them both, who said, the Messenger of Allah, may the blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, took me by the shoulder and said, be in the world as though you were a stranger or a wayfarer. The son of Umar, may Allah be pleased with them both, used to say, at evening do not expect to live till morning, and at morning do not expect to live till evening. Take from your health for your illness, and from your life for your death. It was related by Al-Bukhari.
This is Salaam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim community radio. Broadcasting on 106.2 FM and online.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Friday Night Prime here on Salaam Radio 106.2 FM. A warm welcome back to our listeners in Luton, Inspire FM 105.1. I hope you're all enjoying the show and the great interview we're having with Waqas from, formerly from Outlandish. And we've just heard a great track which was called It Is Written, from the new album, One Foot in the Sink and the Other on a Banana Peel. An amazing album. Please do check it out. You will not be disappointed. That track was with Saif Adam. Great track, right, brother?
Absolutely. Brilliant track. I loved it.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. I hope you enjoyed our ad break there, Waqas.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Nice. Good advertisement. Important. They pay the bills.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to get straight back into some questions there.
Absolutely.
Now, you touched upon earlier on about how you're Pakistani Muslim growing up in Copenhagen. Yeah. How did this impact on your musical journey? I mean, how was it like with parents, family, people around you asking about your music? What was the initial kind of expression on people's faces?
Oh, that's a delicate topic right there, right? It's a delicate topic.
It is.
Yeah, in the Pakistani community, we listen to music all the time. Music is part of our life. When it's almost like when someone's sick, you have songs for that. After someone's died or you miss someone, love, hate, we have songs and music for everything, right? But choosing music as a profession, now that's a different thing. So I'm not gonna lie. I don't. My parents weren't that excited about it, because, and understandably, because the experience that they had with music was not good. When you looked at the music industry in the 70s when they were growing up, when they came to Denmark, and by the time I was getting into music and the music I liked, which was hip hop, they were looking at it. We had one show called Yo MTV Raps. And they were like, is this what you want to do? Is this what you want to be? And, so I think also that played a part in us not just going the usual, talking about, women as negative objects, sex objects, or alcohol and, smoking weed or whatever. So that was never a part of our DNA. And we always had, that with us from our upbringing, all three of us actually doing music. So I think once we succeeded and they could see the positive impact that we had, they were really excited. I'll tell you something about my father. He basically, he was also always like, what are the friends gonna say? Dr. Iqbal's son is a engineer, Dr. Chaudhry's daughter is a doctor, and the other one is an engineer, and on and on and on. And Azmat Saab, what's your son like? Oh, he's a singer, So and now it's like, oh, Azmat Saab, your son, that's the Vikas from Outlandish. MashaAllah, they're doing a good job. So Alhamdulillah, it turned out really good.
So you're breaking barriers then for the rest of the community.
Yeah, we were basically. I'm not. It's not to big yourself up. Okay, maybe a little bit, but we were the first. And then we were. The only inspiration, seriously, the only inspiration I had from someone who looked a little bit like me, that was when we used to watch TV Asia. That was one of the first channels from England. That's the first channel we had on a satellite. And I saw a video once with Apache Indian called Arranged Marriage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I ever saw someone looking like me mixing cultures together. And he was talking about she was sweet like jalebi and making roti. And I was just mesmerized. And I was like, wow, you can do that? You can seriously do that? So those were the early day inspirations, because and in Denmark there were no one like us. When we came out, the royal family, the politicians, everyone was just like, wow, it's about time that the minorities have a voice. Even though we didn't want to be that voice, we were just talking about things, and suddenly politicians were rubbing shoulders with us and stuff like that. And the rest is, as we say, history.
That's amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah.
It's amazing. Now, going back to the album, the new album, this is a very spiritual album. This is what I'd call a proper nasheed album, right? And did you consciously set out to do this, or was it just a result of the creative process and the chat you had with Saif Adam and locking yourself in the studio? How did it turn into a nasheed album, or was it that from the outset?
We spoke about it. Me and Saif, we spoke about it, that it could be good to do. And for me, some people even call outlandish nasheed. Nasheed band, even though we were like, no, we're not. We're just a mainstream band. But we didn't understand the terminology that well back then. It was when Sami Yusuf he collaborated with us for one of our songs called I've Seen, that we just discovered. Now, okay, this is what it is. Okay, and some of our songs that we did, I Only Ask of God, and Any Given Time, and Calling You, and things like that, they have elements of your spirituality in them. So people were really embracing that, and that's how the broader Muslim crowd, they started embracing us, basically. So it wasn't unnatural for me, and it was also a good place where I was, because look, I wanted to come out with something positive for the kids, because we live in a time where there's so much negativity surrounding Muslims, and mainly due to external factors, but we also have to do something to do with it. The way we behave and the way we talk and the way we are as persons, human beings. That's just straight up talk, you know. And I wanted to tell the young Muslims, basically, especially, that look, man, you are special. Be proud. Wear your Allah necklace with pride. Don't chuck it in when you go out and shop or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And be proud. Be proud of your Muslim name, your heritage, and your culture and everything. It doesn't have to be something negative, you know.
Exactly.
Make it into something positive. So I wanted to make this album from a place of positivity, upliftment, you know. Not to, because, yeah, I was in a depressive state back in January, but I wanted to talk about how I came out of it.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to dwell on it. Yeah, life is so hard, and you know, and Allah help me, and you know, I wanted to say, man, you know, just get up on the track it is written. That's what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, actually, it's also about being in a depressive state and fighting your way out of it, because life will put you down all the time. Allah will test you, and you just have to keep your head down and you know, work your way out of it. You know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that it basically, it is a nasheed album, yeah, and it came from a place of positivity and not negativity at all.
No, clearly not. That's evident throughout the whole album. That's very evident. Let me just ask you this as an aside to that. You know, the album's been out for a while now, and I'm sure you've had feedback from, I don't know, maybe close friends of yours or people of a youthful nature. What sort of feedback have you had, and has it impacted people in a way that you found surprising, or, you know, can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, I mean, people were really positive because, you know, look, I mean, it's not to underplay or overplay something, but I'm good at what I do, and there's there's no, how do you say it? You shouldn't be ashamed or hide it. You know, if you're good at your craft, let people know, not because you want to brag, but because you can inspire and motivate others. You know, I'm like, you know, I did this by myself, you know.
Yeah.
And you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Yeah, I've had 20 years of experience, but I also started out as a kid from a suburb in Copenhagen where nobody believed in us. You know, they thought that either we would be in jail or we would, you know, work in a grocery store or whatever, you know. But I did it. I made it, you know, and my friends and colleagues, they're surprised that, wow, you can really do this. It's amazing, you know, and everything looks so professional. Of course it looks professional. I am professional, you know. But it's been good. And of course, you know, you shouldn't hide the fact either that it is hard. You know, it's hard because you get up in the morning and you're your own boss and you have to put in the work yourself. You know, you and people who have their own businesses know this, you know. That you guys know this, you know, and people who are not funded by, you know, the government or whatever, they know this, that you have to put in work and you have to put in the effort.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay, so we'll be talking about
for you guys.
Sorry,
am I too boring?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No. I'm actually really taking in what you're saying, because cool. It's actually really good inspiration for me, and I hope it really is a good inspiration for all the listeners out there.
Absolutely.
Inshallah.
But I wanted to take you back to what we were talking about, collaboration early on. And when I was listening to your album for the first time, I was like really wowed when I heard Imam Suhaib Webb's voice on it. And I was like, this is an amazing collaboration. No one ever has thought about this, as far as I'm aware. And it just works so well. And how did this even start? And what was it like working with him?
Wow. I mean, it was amazing because I follow him on Snapchat. And I'm a fan, you know, because he has this whole, you know, street approach, American street approach, which is a bit different, you know. So he'll be kicking knowledge about his, you know, the hadiths and this and that, you know, and words of wisdom and stuff, and he'll just do it in a street way, you know, because he's like from the West Coast and stuff, and it's so cool to watch because I grew up on hip hop, I grew up the whole way of talking as he does, and when he speaks, actually, I'm just like, oh man, I just want to put a beat underneath that.
That's
and, you know,
it.
And just like,
I often think that too.
Yeah, man, it's like spoken word, you know. So I was really nervous. Seriously, I was so nervous. I wrote him. I found his. I was stalking him on the different profiles he has, and he answered. You know, and he's very. Funny thing is, he's very like, sure, he writes in hashtags. Cool, down with it, amazing, fantastic. I'm like, okay, give me some more. And I had a conversation with him, and it was amazing. You know, we had a conversation, and I explained the whole concept to him, and he was down, and he was like, "Yeah, man, let me get to it. Let me get to it." And he knocked it out. I explained the vision and the vision I had. You know, that he would be talking about. You know, he would just sum up the songs in 3 interludes. You know, and he did it perfectly in a beautiful way. And you know, we managed to make it fit in, even though he's all the way over there. He sent it to me. And, you know, we did it, and it came out really beautiful. And yeah, I wanted it to be in a way that you can just re-loop what he's saying, and it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it sounds cool the way he speaks. It's almost like he's rapping or something.
But
you know?
isn't that his background? I think. Am I right in saying that? Didn't he come from some creative background?
Yeah, I think he was a DJ or something.
Yeah, see, I can.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, because I watch his Snapchats as well, and when he's talking, I'm like, you know, this is exactly what you were saying. I'm like, this
Yeah.
guy's come from some creative background, and you can
I
tell
love
with the
that.
way he puts his words together.
Yeah, wow.
Mashallah, he's very
And
talented.
I'm really happy that that happened. And I mean, there's like, again, this Safe Adam is there, and everybody just jumped on it, man. You know, I have a really cool, talented, multi-talented brother from Canada called Daim Khalid. You know, he's a singer, he's like a songwriter, he's a videographer, he's like, you know, photographer. And I have also have one of my brothers from here called Talal. He's Middle Eastern, and he has this really sweet way of singing. He's on the track called Salutations. You know, so cool brothers, man, who just jumped on it. I just asked, and they just jumped on it. So alhamdulillah, blessed.
Mashallah. Right. Now, the next question I wanted to ask is that you have performed your entire album on Facebook Live.
Yes, I did.
And I
Yes,
believe
sir.
that's now on YouTube as well. Is that right?
It's actually on my website. You can just go to my website. It's called vakasofficial.com.
Yeah.
And it's under videos. I wanted to do like a special release thing. You know, people throw these release receptions and stuff. And, you know, I'm online, you know, I'm an addict to social media, you know, so I'm all over the place. And, you know, people were like, yeah, well, how can we want to be a part of it, blah, blah. So I just put up this, I did this concert, you know, where, like you say, I just played some of the songs live, you know, in a professional studio with like 7 cameras and everything. Really cool setting.
It was a really cool setting. I really like
thank
that.
you, thank you. And yeah, it was nerve-wracking, you know, because it was like a live band, and I'm without my brothers, you know, because you must imagine, because for 20 years, right, I've been like surrounded by my 2 guys, you know, and suddenly they're not there, and I'm on my own.
Wow.
But alhamdulillah, you know, I'm used to it, and I did pretty okay, I think. You
was
guys
great.
can go and check it out afterwards. And,
No,
and give it
I
time.
watched it just this morning, actually,
Yeah.
for the first time, and it was
cool,
great. It was a very
cool.
intimate setting.
Yeah, I like it.
And it was lit really well.
It was.
as well. It
Yeah.
was very,
Yeah,
you felt like you were there. I did HD full screen. It was great.
Exactly,
It's really
exactly.
good.
And it was so funny because, you know, I was just looking at the camera in front of me because there was no studio audience. I had some of my family and my friends inside the recording studio. You know,
Right.
they were looking there. I couldn't hear them. They were clapping and stuff, but I couldn't hear anything. So it was just like when the song ended, you just looked at the camera. Yeah, did you like it?
So
cool.
my next question on that is, have you got any tours coming up? Will you be coming here to the UK? Are you going to be performing? I'd love to come out and see you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've done some shows here in Denmark, especially. I did some festivals here, and did a Copenhagen Mela as well. I'm coming to the UK. I'm performing at I think it's the Muslim World Expo at DXL.
Yeah.
I think that's the 18th of November. So I'm gonna be performing there, which is gonna be good. And there's some things in the pipeline that I can't really talk about right now, but as soon as I know, I'll definitely let you guys know. But yeah, the plan is definitely just get out there and tour and perform for the people. I would love to see how people are reacting to the songs, you know.
Wow.
Absolutely. And beyond that, brother, what's planned in your mind? I know you can make the best plans, and Allah's the best plan at the end of the day, but
Yes.
what's planned for the future? Are you thinking more Nasheed albums? Are you thinking a change of direction? I mean, what's going in your head at the moment?
I mean, my head is very focused, though it's all over the place. So I don't, but definitely this is I'm in it for the long run. That's also what I promised myself. It's not just like a one-off thing. So I'm already thinking about the next move, whether that's an album or whether that's just release a single or whatever, you know. So that thing is set. You know, there will be. It's probably not a One Foot in the Sink Part 2, but or maybe, I don't know, but definitely in the same, you know, mood, genre, and push us forward, man. Just push the whole scene forward. You know, whether it's the nasheed or the modest fashion or whatever. I think there's a lot of cool things going on. Also with the radio stations, there's a lot of good things. The youngsters are doing tremendously good. You know, with the modest fashion and you know, bracelets and brands and stuff. And we just need to work together, man, and just push it forward and show the world that, look, man, we can be creative and positive, and we have a positive impact on the world, society, and people around us, you know, just like lift each other, because we're in it together, you know.
Absolutely.
We shouldn't stand divided in that way.
No, that's so true. I want to ask you a question that we've asked Zain Bika and Saif Adam and the up-and-coming Ibrahim Kaba. We've asked him the same question as well, and which is, what's your opinion of the nasheed industry as it is today? Where do you think things need to change? Where do you think it's going? Do you think it's going in the right direction, or does it need a change?
Well, you know, I mean, the nasheed industry is not much different than any other industry, you know, whether it's mainstream or whatever, you know. And I think it's because somehow I'm a bit of an outsider looking in. You know, now that I'm in, you know, that I can, you know, put out my opinions on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like every industry. It has ups and downs, and then it goes into, how do you call it, when it's just like
plateau.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, and we just need to keep pushing. We need to keep pushing forward, and hopefully also the way I've done my album, you know, the way Saif is doing his things, and, you know, there's some other artists as well out there doing their thing. You know, it's good that we keep pushing it, you know, because the audience are not stupid.
No.
You know, we can't treat them like they're stupid. You know, they're intelligent people, and they want quality, you know, so we need to give people quality. Like I said before, there's a lot of good things going on, whether it's bloggers or whatever, you know. We need to keep pushing forward. We can't just, I mean, if Sammy did something, or if Maher Zain did something, or someone else did something, I mean, we need people to be original instead of just being copycats in a way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we have in the Desi community, we have a rapper called Bohemia from Oakland, you know, and he kind of pioneered the whole Punjabi rap scene. And suddenly you have like 1,500 rappers out there on YouTube who sound exactly like a bad copy of Bohemia. we don't need that. We need people to find their own style, develop their own thing, and push forward. And this album is just my humble approach of doing that.
Wow.
Because I don't think that anyone's done it this way. You know,
no.
it like
this is very different, and this is what I think. I was like, when I listened to it, I was like, wow, this is different. It's nasheed, it's a rap. I've never heard anything like this.
No, exactly.
It's really
and
good.
It also everything comes from personal experiences. You know, that's also my legacy and my DNA. That Outlandish also, that we talk about the stuff that's very local. You know?
Yeah.
We had this thing called, the more local you make it, the more global it becomes.
Yeah.
You know, because you have to talk about personal experiences, and also that would be my advice for any up and coming. You know, it's good to praise Allah and think about sing about Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you know, and everything. But hey, get your personal approach into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, you know? And that's the way people will relate to your music as well. You know, so that's just my approach to it. And some might even say, "Wow, that's controversial." You know, you're putting one foot in the sink, and you're talking about, you know, that you've been through some stuff, or you've done stuff that you're not proud of, and blah blah blah. But I mean, hey, man, I mean, it's all about sharing.
Absolutely.
Sharing is caring.
And we're all human, right?
Exactly. Exactly right. That's right. Wakas, I want to ask you, we've literally got about 5 minutes left, and I want to play another track, or at least the bulk of another track. Before I do that, let me ask you, which track, if there is a single track that means the most to you from the album, which one is it, and why? If you can answer that. That's
a very difficult question. I would say there are 3 tracks on the album which are really dear to me. One Foot in the Sink, because that just describes my whole life.
Yeah.
It is written because that is like, you know, it's about the way I fought myself out of, you know, a depressive state of mind and found a positive way. And then the last track, Mere Khuda, which is one of my absolute favorites,
Yeah.
because the people who are Pakistani listeners out there and plus 30, they probably know when we used to go to something called Urdu school, and we had this Pehla Qaida, which is like the first Qaida.
Yeah.
And in that there will be like this dua in the beginning, and it would be Mere Khuda tu hai bada sabse bada. It was like a nursery dua somehow. And it's just, I mean, because I never got past page 4 in Urdu school. So the first page is like memorized, it's in the back of my head, a hard drive. And I always just wanted to do something with that. And, that was like a prayer, like me praying,
It is a great track.
Thank you very much.
And, oddly, this is quite bizarre. I chose 3 tracks for the playlist for the show, and those 3 tracks are so the track we're going to hear,
right?
we're going to hear the track now. This is Waqas with Mere Khuda.
What is my body without soul? Kind of a purposeless tool. What's ambition without goal? It's a worthless jewel. What's the purpose of living if you can't even breathe? And where would I be if I didn't believe in what I can't see?
Now, when I was down, you were there. Running around, you were there. When I was out of control and out on parole, you were there. Yeah, time to repair, damage your career, really don't care. Time for a prayer, so I get down in ruku and say these words to you. When you wanna put it on, they say take it all off. Let no one decide for you, do what you wanna do. Always stay true to you. Sometimes it's hard to breathe, to see the light at the end of the tunnel and still believe. While some spread bullets, some spread seeds. We need to give these kids a reason to believe in themselves. With arms raised towards the sky, you watch them cry for help. We all get low on vitamin D. Losing your way, the world is mean. Close your eyes and dry your tears. Say your prayers.
Always leave them wanting more, is what they say. So we're going to have to, due to time constraints, otherwise, obviously, we'd want to play all of that, brother. But an amazing track. Go out and buy the album. I listen through music streaming service, so if you're on one of those, and without naming names, do have a listen and check out the album. Brother, I want to thank you. I'm sure Brother Taqi wants to thank you as well for your time today. It's been engaging, enthralling, enlightening, and inspiring. So jazakallah khair for your time and for sharing your motivations and inspirations.
Absolutely,
right?
It's been brilliant, and it's really good for our local community to kind of like speak to people like yourself. So thank you very, very much for coming online with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Alaikum assalam.
That was Waqas from formerly from Outlandish. I'm sure you've enjoyed the show. I really hope you've enjoyed the show. We've tried to cover as much as we can in the short time that we have. There's very little time left. Just want a couple of quick announcements for you. Tomorrow morning here at the Allama Iqbal Centre at 10 o'clock, there's a public meeting with Fiona Onasanya, local MP, attending, and this is all about the horrific persecution and ongoing genocide in Myanmar for the Rohingya that are very, very terribly persecuted. So if you've got concerns about that, which of course you will have, and you want to air them and hopefully get your concerns to Parliament, do come along tomorrow at 10 o'clock sharp to take part in that. There's also a youth talk happening at Masjid Khadija on Sunday at 3 o'clock. This is all about drug dealing, taking and sexual relationships for boys and girls. Do bring your sons and daughters along. It will be segregated. That's all we've got time for. Jazakallah khair, Brother Taqir.
Thank you very much for having me on.
You're welcome.